Hey everybody, welcome to Area 51. Thank you for coming to the channel today. I'm just going to do a quick, somewhat quick, a painting of the Resin 3A3D bodies. So far, my printers have stopped. I haven't printed anything lately. The Hager's one, I'm waiting for some uh, FEP film for the vat because the machine detected a problem and it found out that it had a hole in it, which is very good. The Saturn 4 is working fine. I got the film replaced, and I also got a new screen for it from Elegoo warranted because it had an issue. So we've been going through a lot with printers, myself personally, where you discover problems and stuff. But one of the things that I noticed is that the print will be good as the file is. If the file is crap, then it's going to print crap. So when you hunt for files, you have to really be, in a way, it's like a hit or miss, like I've said before. And here's an example. One file. This is a great file. This is the 67 Camaro. Oh, excuse me, 67. Boy, insult everybody with Camaro owners. 67 Mustang, and this one's from 3D Printable Shop. So this is a good file. I have purchased other files from there to check them out, and they weren't as good. One was particular was the 79 Camaro Z28. That is just a terrible file. There's a Dodge Dart. That's terrible. Dave has been learning a lot about Blender, and it's been kind of a venture for him. That's why Dave has gotten real good at it, and he's been teaching us. So when we load the files in there, we kind of analyze it on Blender, and we can see how bad they are. And it's just a matter of just trying to smooth them out and stuff. But it takes a lot of work. But we have good stuff with files. And Dave has made some tutor bodies, which is great for like doing jalopy builds. And here's a engine from that file, and this is really done nicely. I mean, they came out really good. These were done on the Hey Gears printer. The Elegoo printer that I printed this one body from is what we're going to be painting today, and I'm going to show you just what I've done. It's very basic, and the first thing I did was I used some primer, and this is what I usually use. You could use whatever primer you feel is good. So this right here is pretty decent. This is the Rust-Oleum filler primer. You get these in any automotive store, or use whatever choice of primer you want to select. Primer is the real important thing. This particular print, though, didn't need any sanding. It came out super smooth. There's a setting that Harry has used that has shown us to make it really smooth. And we don't use the anti-aliasing feature. It's called the gray scale feature, where you could blur the pixels, and then that way the body comes out a lot smoother. So this car didn't need no sanding. Now the Hager's one, it needs a teeny bit. It doesn't show that much, but not too bad. You could get rid of these. This takes very little sanding. It's very light, but it works. I'm still experimenting on it and trying to learn more about it. So it's just always a learning process to try and get the printers to print what you want. Now car bodies are so different from little figures and mech figures and what they do in the printing world with the guys that do a lot of that. With car bodies, it's so different. One of the things is you have to make sure when you put your supports, you don't put too many to where when you're ripping this off, it starts damaging the body. There's just so many little ins and outs of it. So, but it takes a lot of practice and a lot of time, and sometimes a lot of resin. But so far, I've been happy with the Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra. To me, that is an excellent machine for the beginner. And basically, all you need is that machine, two containers that I have right here, if you can see them on camera, which are from the dollar store. And then you can go to Walmart and get yourself four of these. These are like $4. This is 32 ounces of 91% alcohol. And you're ready to go. It really doesn't take much. And then a UV curing machine, you could get a cheap one with a light with a little turntable, or you can get this one right here, which is a little bit more expensive, but this one runs really good. I recommend this one. It's got a dryer, and it also UV cures, and it's a nice little UV curing, printing machine. So, and then trays, cafeteria trays, you can pull your builds off, and they usually get the putty knife to slide them off. That's really what you need, and of course, towels, spray bottle so you can spray down, have alcohol on it, and a bag to dispose of everything. And of course, gloves. Vinyl gloves I find are the cheapest, which I'm running out of from Harbor Freight. These are $4.99. If you start going to nitrile, they get more expensive. I'm just using vinyl because to me it's just cheaper, and then I don't want to be spending too much on gloves because nitrile gloves, you take them off after a while, they do break, and it's like I just cheap out on that and it just works just as fine. So with all that said, let's go on to what we're going to do with painting, and I'll show you everything that I'm going to paint with, or the paint I'm going to paint with, and how I'm going to paint it. So let's head over to where I'm going to mix the paint. And this is the body I'm going to use or the body I'm going to paint. You can see nice and smooth. Don't need to do anything to it. This has been primered. This was printed with the Elegoo Saturn IV. This is the Camaro Mod asphalt car. You can get this at Stock Car Corner. They're available, the bodies. I printed this one out, and I'm going to traditionally use, decals instead of what I did with the other printer, which was you could actually engrave your own numbers. But we're going to do this with regular decals. So that's our subject to be painted. We're going to put that to the side. And this is the paint I've selected. This is the pearlized Createx water-based paint. Now I use the water-based paint because I have the SMS clear, which you could lay over this, and the SMS clear works very nicely. You could use the super gloss or you could use the two-part one. It's up to you. The two-part one's a little bit more volatile, so I recommend using a mask, and you always use a mask on anything even water-based. But that being said, what we're going to do is shake it up. I don't pre-mix this, depending how thick it is. Also depend, on that notion there. Oh, you see, I have not even opened this, so we're going to open this up. And sometimes these don't need to be mixed, and sometimes they do. It just all depends. And I've already shaken it up. I'm just going to put that much right there. I may put a little bit too much, but that's it. You can see it could use thinning, and what I'm going to do is get some of my thinner that I have and thin it up. You can see how thick it is. This is kind of a lot, but I'm just going by an example. It's just, just doing it that way. So I'm going to put some reducer, that much. And what I want to do is thin this out so it's like I like to say milky substance, but you just want it thin enough so that it'll go through the gun. You see I'm stirring it in this little cup. And again, you do this, I do this by eye. You could get, graduated measurement things, or, little eye droplet deals, and we could do it that way too if you want, if you wanted to, but I'm just roundabout going it like this because that's pretty, to me that looks fine. And again, I'm not an expert at painting. I'm just showing you that, if you want to get into this, you could do it. It's not hard to paint. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter this through the filter I have in here. That looks pretty thin. And I'm using a 0.5 needle, so that's, also a thing that helps, also having a large needle to put through the gun, the tip of the gun, that is. So let me move that out of the way. Of course, you will get a little dirty sometimes. And then I use a filter. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to filter it and fill the cup of the gun. And that's what I do. And I'm going to fill that up. Because this is a pearlized and metallics, you need to filter them so you can get any of the small, bigger chunks that may be in the paint that they use to give it that, pearlescent and metal flake effect. And it's just important that you do that. As you can see, it's going through. That's pretty good thickness right there. It's not thick, so it's doing a pretty good job of going through the filter. And again, this is all by eye. I'm not measuring anything by, specific. And I say that because there's other people that are a lot better at this, and they probably may disagree how I'm doing this, but what we're doing, we're just painting a stock car body, and we're not trying to get super technical about it, because in the long run, we're just trying to make it easier for people who are not familiar with this, and then you could go ahead and go your own way of doing stuff. So now that I've filtered this into the gun, and we will check it out. So the pressure, it says to use this between 40 and 50 psi, which I probably won't end up doing. I'll probably use 35, but I'll test it, see how it atomizes onto, a little test thing right here that I have to spray it onto, and then we'll go from there. All right, I have my compressor set at 35, and I'm spraying here, and I'm going to do this, and you're going to see how it lays out. So that's pretty good. So we're good there, and we should be all right and ready to go. So what we'll do is we will get the model out, and I'm going to get a glove, and I'm going to put a plastic glove on because I'm going to be holding the bottles, and then I'll, keep it from going in my hand. All right, I'm here in my backyard. I got this kind of extended out, so the hose here, but it reaches. So all you're going to do is just throw a light coat on this, just like that. And it's going on really nicely. As you can see how I pre-mixed it. You want it to come out of the gun nice and, easy. If you're starting clumping, or it's like spitting out, then you need to really check how thick it is. And then also make sure your gun is clean. Obviously, this gun is clean. I clean this gun very well. Now, water-based paint is not very hard to lay up. It actually lays real well once you get it on there. And as you can see, there's a pearlized effect on it. And what you could do after that, you could do what's called a flash dry. So I won't pull the trigger all the way to let paint out, but I will let air. I just use a flash dry like this and flash it. And any of you guys could do this, man. I keep hitting the camera there with my gun. I'm not an expert at painting. Dave is very good. Shotgun Dave is real good at painting. I ask him sometimes for some advice on things that I'm not sure of. But and you can hit it over again. Doesn't take much. It's a nice pearlized color that I'm painting this. And I'm looking forward to how this is going to come out once the decals are on, and then I spray the final clear on this. You can see this resin body is really nice, not hard to paint. I noticed one thing: UV glue really sticks good to resin. When I did the mounts, I did UV glue, and I lost the position of two of them, and I had to take them out. And when I took it out, that UV glue really sticks to the resin very well. I mean, really hard. I had to grind it off. So if you use UV glue to put your body mounts on, make sure that you are sure of it. A little bit too much there. I think that should be fine though, but I just don't want to glob it up or make it run. But so far it's laying on really nicely. And as you can see, a 0.5 tip really is a lot better to apply paint like this on car bodies, because if you had a 0.3 or 0.2 in, it just takes a lot longer. Those are really good for fine details if you want to put lines or something like that, or fade outs. But for something like this works really well. And as you see, I'm going to put another coat on because I can. And again, I'm just still going light. And this is a pretty cool color. I love pearls and metallics. I think they're wonderful paints to paint with. It's just something I just enjoy doing. You can see the color starting to come through a little bit there. And we'll let that sit there, and then we'll hope I'm getting in front of the camera here. Sorry if I keep pulling out this way. But just keep doing that. It's not really hard to airbrush. The difficult part about it is making sure your gun is clean and you have the paint mixed right, and that you clean everything thoroughly after you're done. Because if you leave anything in here, like a colored paint, black, red, and this has happened to somebody I know. I won't say that, he went to put the clear in, and he used it and it spit out something and like a color, and then he is like devastated by it. So you want to remember, keep your gun clean if you're going to use the same gun. Now my plan is to get another one, and I'll use it specifically just for clear. So that way, if there's any residue in any of the color, it won't come out on your clear, because when you shoot your clear and you get another color come out, especially if you're spraying over a light color like white, yellow, or something like that, then you're like, and it's like, now what? But you see, that's really coming out good in the sun. It looks really nice. And when this gets clear on it, it'll look even better, because you're going to put a good amount of clear on that, to really bring out the colors. And this is just, water-based right now. But when you hit it with the clear, man, this color is really going to pop beautifully. And that's the whole point of it. So, but again, when you sweep the bottom like this, I'm kind of going a little bit too crazy. And we got a little insect there who thinks this is a flower. And you just come on the bottom and go like that. See, I'm sweeping, and then out, in, out, and like that. So you're not you're globbing the paint on. And make sure you get underneath here. A lot of times these bottom panels don't get hit. Make sure you're getting everything. If you want to get the inside of the body, you can. Up to you. But it doesn't take much. And this paint's really easy to use with this Createx. I think you see the color really coming out. Sorry, I keep pulling away from the camera. That color is really starting to look nice. Then you let this sit for 24 hours, and then you hit it with some SMS clear, and oh my God, you're gonna go, oh, you know, you're gonna be real impressed with it. Now, the reason why I'm not gonna put decals when this is dry, because this is water-based. So if you start putting water decals on this, even after it's cured for like a day, 24 hours to maybe 2 days, it could start softening the paint, and then you'll have issues. So that's why when you use water base and do this, you go over it with a acrylic clear, and then when that is done, drying off and everything, you can put your decals on, not worrying about uh, damaging the paint underneath it, because the clear will keep that from happening, because it's not a water-based acrylic. It's a solvent type. And then after that, when your decals are all set, you could hit it again with your clear, with the SMS clear, which doesn't really do anything to the decals at all. It doesn't peel them up. It's really excellent clear. That's why I use it. And then you got yourself the body all, you know, detailed with your decals and stuff, and it'll look really good. I got a plan for a few things on this one that I hope will come out nice. But again, there you get let it dry, and then we could go a heavy wet coat if you want, like that. See how a little bit closer and a little bit longer strokes. Now you see the color really start coming out. You can go slower too, like this. See all those colors are. Just hope I can get in front of the camera how they're coming out. Look really nice. Really nice colors right here. Wow, that looks great. There you go. I mean, that looks fantastic. And that's how you paint. Nothing to it. Uh, Obviously, the weather has a lot of factor to do with it, and the weather looks pretty good right now, and it's not really cold and it's not really hot, so we're okay. Painting in extreme cold, it will affect it, so you don't want to do that. And also make sure that you know you're not painting it in super humidity weather too, because that also affects it. That's when you have to use a acetone to kind of help dry it quicker if it's humidity is involved, high humidity. But right now the weather is pretty good. We're at like 65 degrees, 68 degrees, so that's fine to paint this. And as you can see, it's doing well. And then we'll put another coat on again. You can go even heavier, as I'm doing here. You see it going on heavy. Go on here. See, your colors are coming out nice now. Yeah, that looks gorgeous. Damn, it's starting to sound like Bob Ross now. Just hit your happy place and get your colors on nice. Anyways, that looks really good. Now I'm gonna let this dry for probably about a day or two before I do any clear on it. We want the paint to settle and get a little hard. I would do 24 hours for sure, and then I'll come back and clear this, let it set for another day or two, and I'll add my decals. You have to be patient. You can't spray this within a few hours and then add stuff, because you'll make a mistake, and then you just get aggravation out of it. So patience is a real key factor, but that looks really nice. It came out really nice. I like how that came out. Came out really good. And if you go over it again real quickly, briefly. There you go. That is blue Camaro. That looks killer. Well, we'll go ahead and put this in the dehydrator, which I'm not turning it on, but it's an enclosure just to keep anything from landing on it. So let's head over back to the bench and we'll talk more about it. And there you go. Here's the model. Looks pretty darn good. It'll look even better when you put a clear on it. Trust me, after you add your decals and then clear it again, it'll be even nicer, because decals do help. As you can see, that paint lies on nicely. Water-based paint is a very good paint to use. Easy cleanup. It lays on nicely, so you can see. You just get it mixed, and I do it by eye. You could use eye droplets and do the 2-to-1 or whatever the bottle recommends. That was shot at 35 psi with a 0.5 needle. So you see how it laid on when we put it on there, very nice and easy. It's an easy paint job. It just takes patience and time and a lot of, a little bit of cleanup. Make sure you keep everything clean. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. And as always, you guys take care and have fun racing.